This is the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. Today we're talking about social anxiety and fears and how to overcome them with the use of semen retention to end up becoming confident, fired up and motivated about life, and being able to control one's environment in order to achieve one's intended dreams and goals. But first, we've got to understand the difference between masculinity and femininity. Masculinity has everything to do with being emotionally stable. Femininity, on the other hand, is being emotionally unstable. For boys, there's a time and place when being emotionally unstable is normal and expected. And they should not be forced too soon to become emotionally stable. It all starts in the womb, as a small fetus, when the boy or girl is receiving the hormones from its mother that will prepare the child to be born. Once the child is born, there's a massive peak of testosterone in the boy child, but not in the girls. And after that spike, the testosterone levels decrease again in boys so that it is completely on the same levels as girl children. This continues until the age of 9, when boys begin now to start the steady exponential ascent of their testosterone levels. Why is this not talked about? You end up having 10 to 20 times more testosterone than the average girl. This is the average man. And it's designed to put it in us for us to protect, provide, and to be fired up and motivated to do so. In women, masculinity is what I call being burdened. Having responsibilities, having a lot of stuff that she needs to think about, having to protect herself, having to provide for herself, having to do things that are uncomfortable, and being disciplined and forcing herself to do things she does not want to do. And when a woman is unburdened, that's when she's feminine. Which one do you think produces the most healthy babies? The masculine woman or the feminine woman? It's the feminine woman. The reason why is because her femininity is proof that she is being protected by and provided for by a masculine man. A masculine man will attract a feminine woman into his life, and that will be the healthiest possible child. A masculine woman will most probably have a feminine man in her life or no man at all, which means that she has to be burdened with the child that she does not really have capacity to take care of. This is going to affect the emotional outcome of her children. The more feminine a woman is, the more healthy her children are going to be. The boys growing up to be masculine and the girls growing up to remain in their feminine state and not going towards masculinity. If you understand this concept of masculinity and femininity, it will explain to you everything that is going on in today's world. And it will also explain why you have social anxiety and fears and phobias. It's because you're emotionally unstable. Obviously, this is not your fault. It's the fault of your environment. However, you can change your environment. It's a choice. It's a decision. It's a decision to overcome the deficiencies and the problems that you had from birth. Now that we understand that femininity has everything to do with emotions and masculinity has everything to do with rational logic, we can now use this information to understand our social anxiety and fears. Fear stands for false expectations appearing real, meaning you actually are expecting something that you believe to be real in your brain. It's not necessarily going to happen. It's not based on facts. It's based on what you think inside your head of what's going to be the outcome. And it's based on emotion, which means fear is an emotion, right? So it's based on emotion, which means that most probably it is massively and grossly exaggerated beyond belief. This is what happens. You've got any fears or phobias, it has to do with emotion. It triggers emotions in your brain, and it sends those emotions throughout your entire body so that you feel out of control. You can't control it. Of course you can't. It's because you're feminine. It's happening to you instead of you being the one who is making things happen. The more you face your fears over time, the more the fears will disappear. You are confronting it as a man, taking small daily steps to overcome the fears and phobias that you have so that you can be rational about it, so that you can use logic and understand what's going on. Social anxiety is the conditioned belief that you think that other people are going to continuously reject you for who you are. But it's not necessarily true. Because there's tons of people out there who will more than gladly accept you for who you are. However, you are a stranger to most people. And if you act as if you should be rejected, you're giving them ammo to actually reject you. If you actually believe logically and rationally that other people will like you because you are an amazing person and you're actually going to be able to offer them something of value, they're going to believe that as well. But you've got to move from the conditioned belief that other people are going to reject me to I have something worthwhile and valuable to offer other people. And because of this, they're going to accept me. And because they're accepting me, now we're beginning to condition our brain to overcome the social anxiety and become socially confident, socially savvy. Rational logic tells us that as long as we have something important to offer and the other person has something important to offer, now we're just two wonderful human beings communicating and finding win-win solutions and helping each other to enjoy life and connecting. It's a fantastic thing. And it assists us to not be depressed. And it assists us to feel good about ourselves and also to make a difference in other people's lives by listening to them and being interested in them. It is only by being interested in other people that we eventually completely get rid of our social anxiety and fears. When you care about other people, you will actually overcome your fear and talk to them anyway because you've got something valuable to offer. And if you don't talk to them, they will never know. This can be the case with business propositions, with sales. This can be also in terms of approaching women at a later point in time. Not now, because that's not what we're thinking about right now. But eventually later in time, because you've got something valuable to offer, you're offering it out of love for the other person. Because if they don't get what you have, man, they're gonna be missing out. And even if they do reject you at that point in time, which they might do, you'll still feel fantastic about yourself because you'll be thinking, well, you know what? They're the ones who are missing out. Some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. That's exactly the same when it comes to business, friends, or eventually your future long-term romantic partners. But going back to the basics and seeing the opposites of it all. Your femininity is the problem. As you move towards masculinity, all of this will be solved. Your low testosterone is what produces femininity. And using medication to get more testosterone is producing the opposite effect. You might feel good in the moment because you've got higher testosterone levels, but it's not medication that solves the long-term problem. You've got to solve your long-term problem through your thinking and through your massive action behavior. Your low testosterone levels have to increase naturally. And what is the best way to increase testosterone naturally? Semen retention. There is nothing else that has the same effect and same power as semen retention when it comes to increasing your testosterone levels and assisting your self-control towards emotional stability. Nothing else beats it. Once you begin to practice seed retention, your masculinity will increase. You will gain greater self-control over your thoughts. When you talk to other people or when you do something that might be a bit scary, your masculinity is what's going to allow your brain to think rationally about the situation and not exaggerate it beyond proportions because of what is happening to you with your emotions. You're going to be able to control your emotions, control your thoughts, so that you can actually do that which is the most productive and efficient thing to do at any given time. The masculinity you get from semen retention will also allow you to realize that everything you want is outside your comfort zone. And you've got to go beyond your comfort zone in order for you to get increased masculinity, taking it again to a new level, and then again to a new level, and then again to a new level. You don't want to be stuck inside your comfort zone where you've got what you've got right now. If you're feminine, you'll settle. Oh, and this is just my life and I'm doomed. I can't do anything about it. But if you are masculine, you'll understand that I can get anything that I desire. It's all about my thinking. It's all about me taking 10x action and massively moving forward towards my dreams and goals. I'm masculine, and because I'm masculine, I know what I'm doing. And if I don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to figure it out. This is what separates you from being a follower to becoming a leader. It starts with overcoming yourself, leading yourself, using seed retention to overcome yourself and your own limitations, your own social fears and anxieties and problems, so that you can be able to move beyond it and help everyone else who struggles with exactly the same thing that you've been probably struggling with for years and years and years without end. It's a new time now. You can actually think about the future now once you listen to this video again and again and again and again. Repetition. You've also got to realize that practicing seed retention is only half the answer, because your seed retention increases the potential masculinity in you. It doesn't give you masculinity all on its own. It might to some degree. However, the second aspect needs to be coupled up with the practice of seed retention. Seed retention requires you taking massive action. This is how you become masculine. When you're feminine, you have a low risk tolerance. When you are masculine, you have a high risk tolerance, which means that you take action despite how you feel and despite the fears that you have in you. Realize that it has everything to do with masculinity and femininity. It has everything to do with your past environment and how you grew up. However, you can create a new environment. You can create new input. You can use these videos to help you to move towards the correct direction that will massively and exponentially change your life, because you now know the answers. Once you know the answers, now it's just to take massive action in the right direction towards your dreams and goals. And I can promise you, if you keep taking action and procrastinate women until you've achieved those important milestones that you've got for yourself, amazing things are going to happen for you. I'm fired up outside my brain for you. I hope that you are too. Let's make it happen. This is the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. I'll see you in the next video.